Hey everyone, welcome to On the Line. My name is Addison and I'm a 15-year-old aspiring sports broadcaster. On the Line is a sports podcast that highlights the stories of high school and college athletes so you can get a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to be the best. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of On the Line. My name is Addison, and this week I interviewed Ronald Davis, a cornerback out of Federal Way, Washington. He is committed to Eastern Washington, and in this interview we talked about how COVID has affected football and the plans for the 2021 season, as well as what makes a good defender. And we also talk about the recruitment process and what that is like, as well as a ton of other things, but those are just a couple things that we talked about. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoy. Hey, Ronald, welcome to the podcast, and thank you so much for being here. Just want to start off by asking, did you watch the Super Bowl on Sunday? I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, I did. It was a good game overall. I mean, Kansas City played good. I mean, their line was hurt, and then you had Mahomes, the toe problem. But I mean, you can't really hate on Brady either. He's just the greatest of all time, in my opinion, the greatest football player. So you can't really hate on him or anything like that. So I was happy to see him get his 7th ring. But other than that, it was good. It was a good time with family too. So
I definitely went in not being a Tom Brady fan like most Seahawks fans. But after watching the game, I think the Chiefs played kind of soft in my opinion. But again, their line was not doing much to protect Patrick Mahomes, and he had a hurt toe. So that was kind of just not a good combination. But again, like you, I cannot deny that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, and it was a great Super Bowl.
Yeah, it definitely was.
So I'm just curious, things are changing all the time with sports in Washington. So have you been able to start practicing at all with your team?
Actual practice, no, but we have been. Me and the captains have been running player ran practices, and then every day of the week, and then we'll have like 7-on-7 games with each other on the weekends, and then it's stuff like that. And then we'll go train at a facility as a team, probably about once a week. So we get weightlifting in at the facility that we go to once a week or twice a week, and then we'll have player ran practices at our school every day of the week. So we kind of get together and do it that way. But we start official practice February 18th.
Oh, wow. I thought I saw that your first game is in the beginning of March.
Yeah, well, we start March 12th now. So I don't know how our league's doing that, but I guess we start March 12th from what my coach said. So we're just kind of waiting and playing the waiting game right now and just doing everything we can to prepare.
How do you feel about that? I mean, less than a month with all the guys together. I'm sure there's new people on your team, so getting that chemistry right before the season, that's going to be tough to do in a month.
Yeah, I know. It'll be tough because we're really unexperienced. I think there's like less than 10 guys that have varsity experience on our team. And
wow.
There's 2 guys, me and one other guy that are committed to Division I schools. And then you have another guy that has Division I offers. So we're really unexperienced. So we're just kind of building that chemistry, or we're trying to build that chemistry through the player ran workouts and trying to get as much people as we can so we can just get started when actual practice starts and the game starts. So it's kind of unfortunate, but that's what we have to do.
Yeah, well, good luck. There's a ton of uncertainties around sports in Washington, and things are changing so frequently. So it's like nothing is really set in stone. So good luck with that, and hopefully you'll be able to start on that March 12th date.
Yeah, thank you. I'm hoping too. So.
Well, let's kind of rewind to the very beginning. So when did you start playing football?
I started playing football when I was 7 years old, so second grade.
And then what got you into football? Was it like a parent, something that you just were watching football and were like, that's what I want to do?
I've kind of been around football my entire life just because pretty much all the men in my family have played it at least once in their lifetime. And then, my dad played it, and he was decent at it. He didn't go past high school, but he was good. And then on my mom's side of the family, there's some people that have played football before. So I kind of just grew up around it. And then my dad is a big football fan. So, I mean, all he does is watch football. And so I've kind of just been around it my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Really had no choice but to be around it. And I kind of just fell in love with the game. So it was kind of like that.
Nice. So did you play other positions before landing on cornerback?
Yes. So I played all throughout Little League. I played running back. And then I honestly thought I was going to be a running back my whole career of football. And then I did play some linebacker like my first years of playing football. So, and then that's when I turned into DB, like maybe the middle of my career. So I honestly thought I was going to be an offensive player. So I played running back a lot.
That's crazy how that all unfolded to now you are a cornerback.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because I never thought, like, I hated defense. I used to hate defense.
Yeah.
And not because I always loved being physical, but I just hated, like, it wasn't, like, I had to be patient because I loved getting the ball and just running.
Yeah.
I was that kind of guy. So I always thought I was going to be an offensive player and getting all the glory and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, your freshman year, I don't know if you're on varsity, but varsity had a record of 4-6. And then your sophomore year, it was 6-4. And then your junior year, it was 7-3. So what changed? Because that is a pretty significant improvement throughout those 3 years.
Yeah. So freshman year, I did play one game of varsity, but at my school, it was like a rule where freshmen had to play freshman team. So it was like, and then we had a better record than the varsity team. So it was kind of like, yeah. And then sophomore year, everybody from freshman team made the jump from freshman team to varsity. Mm-hmm. So we all started. And then there was 2 Division I guys on that team, Trey Davis and then Alfonso Tupatala. They went to USC and then UW. So those were our captains, and they kind of set us straight, like, look, this is your guys' first year on varsity. This is how we do things. So we all started. So the chemistry was there from the jump. And then junior year, we carried that chemistry on. And I think that's why the record got better. And then people just bought in, really. That's why.
Definitely, it's important to have a good captain to make sure everyone's heads are on straight and the rest of the team.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about defending. Would you rather defend someone that's faster than you or bigger than you?
I'd say bigger.
And then do you have a reason?
Just because I'm strong too, and I feel like there is not really an advantage. It's really just strong against strong at this point. And then it's whoever put the most work in, like when it comes down to it. So, and then speed wise, I got a fast guy too, but it's more technical. So, I mean, both are technical, but guarding a speedy guy is, you have to be more technically sound and more patient and all that. But I'd rather say a strength guy because I could be more aggressive and play how I play. I'm patient too, but I'd be more comfortable playing against a stronger and taller guy.
Cool. Yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about coverage. So off coverage versus press coverage. Why is it good to be, all up in their business? And then why is it good to have that cushion between you and the receiver?
I would say it's good at some points to be all up in their face. At some points, I say that because you don't want to you don't want to get up in their face and you get beat on a go route or something like that. And then, I mean, it can either cost you the game or just change the whole momentum of the game. So I would say play press coverage on the goal line or like in the red zone or on the goal line, and then play off maybe when you're farther down the field. Just because when you play off too, you got time to really read the play and stay patient with things and read what the receiver is doing. So those are the differences between the two. So in my opinion,
I think from an offensive standpoint, off coverage makes it look like your receivers are more open. So then they'll go for some of the deeper passes.
Yeah.
In press coverage, are you like lots of hands or no? Like, are you super physical or is it more about the like footwork and crossover stuff?
I'm kind of both. I'm real aggressive on the line just because I know if I get I'm heavy-handed. So I know if I get my hands on you, you're not going to really want to run full speed or it's going to mess your route up. So, and then you got to have good feet as a DB. That's probably one of the main things. Footwork is real key, especially when you're pressing up on the line. So I would say I'm both. Like I focus on both really.
I think now, like in the league and the NFL, you see a lot of guys just pushing a lot. And I was listening to a video and actually Trey White was saying how it's kind of a lost art to have that off coverage or to not be in their face and pressing.
Yeah. And then you get more of the real aggressive stuff in 7-on-7 games. It's kind of hard to do in pads just because it's more like the refs are paying more attention to what you're doing. So that's playing real aggressive and trying to press people to the ground. That's more of a 7-on-7 thing, I would say. So you see more of that in 7-on-7.
I think a lot of times the refs will call a flag or whatever on the defensive player and not the wide receiver. I think that's just kind of how it works. There's more penalties on the defense than offense.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like, the game is for the offensive players. Like, the refs hate defense. So, I mean.
Kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's messed up to the defensive players. You got to be technically sound, especially in pads.
So what do you do to be technically sound?
So what I do is I run through drills with my trainer, Kyle. We train every week. So we do a lot of technique stuff and a lot of fast-paced stuff. So I'm getting conditioning in too. So I do a lot of the technique stuff with my trainer every week. So I get that kind of stuff in a lot. So that's what I worked on.
So when you're defending, are you trying to press the receiver out towards the sideline?
It really matters. I mean, it depends. So for me, I kind of just push them straight back. I mean, I'm not really focused on getting them to a certain spot. I'm just pressing them just to break up the route and mess up the play. Yeah. So I wouldn't say there's a real specific place you got to get them or like spot you got to get them to. So it's just as long as you get hands on them and mess up the play, I think you won the rest.
Okay. Yeah, because I've seen a lot where the cornerback will flip their hips and push out the receiver. But again, it really is just making sure you mess up their route.
Yeah, and then if you push them close to the sideline, that'll help too because it's a flag if they run out and then run back in and catch the ball. So really, it's a win-win situation.
When you're off coverage, does that give you a better chance of making an interception?
Yes and no, because I mean, majority yes, but you have to have good breaks to get the interception or get the pass breakup. So that's when the breaks come in as a DB. You got to be technically sound and know what you're doing and be patient in off coverage too. So you can get the pick six or can get the interception and break on the route on time. So all it is timing really. That's all it is.
And does that timing just come from consistent practice?
Yeah, that timing, it comes from a lot of reps and a lot of consistency. And then some, I mean, you got to be athletic too. So
Yeah.
a lot of it is athletic based too. So it's all about timing and consistency.
Can you describe how you defend differently when you are defending a receiver on a slant versus, let's say, a fade route?
Okay, so really how I look at it is I watch a lot of film. So I kind of know when a receiver is running a slant route. So he's going inside, right? So you want to play head up on the receiver for a slant route, and then you want to play head up at all times. I mean, this is how I've been taught. But usually he's going inside, so you want to get hands on him and just break up the route, really. And then a fade route, he'll be going out. I mean, fade routes usually are ran on the goal line, so you kind of know the receiver will try to stall you and freeze you up and then just go straight up, and then the quarterback will throw it up. So really you just gotta play the hips and then play the ball in the air. It's all athletic. Like that's when your athletics come into play. So that's how I look at it.
It really seems like the great cornerbacks are able to run the routes better than the receivers, and then that's when you can intercept the ball.
Yeah, at times, that's all consistency, hard work, training. Like you got to turn into the receiver sometimes when you're a DB. So in order to get the pick, so it's athletics and consistency. So that's all a DB is really.
Mm-hmm. How much trash talking is there? Like, are you like Richard Sherman, who's known for being a huge trash talker, or is it different?
There's times where I'm talking, and then there's times where I'm just chilling, like if we're playing against a team that's not really good, I'm gonna talk, and then like I'm gonna stay quiet, but then I'm gonna talk like just for the fun of it. But if we're playing a team that's the same level as us, or the same, or even better than us, to be honest, or I'm guarding a receiver that's the same talent level as me or better than me, I mean, I'm gonna talk too, but I'm also going to stay quiet and keep calm, because, I mean, you don't want to talk too much and then you get beat on a route or lose the game. So then it's just going to make you look stupid. So yeah, that's how I look at it.
What sets a great defender apart from an average one?
Short-term memory loss. I would say if you have short-term memory loss, you're going to be a great DB. If you dwell on the stuff that happened before, or if you dwell on the play that you messed up on, I mean, that's kind of where the average comes in, because then you're thinking about that the whole game. So if you have short-term memory loss, you're good. But and then it all comes down to the work you put in. So if you're working consistently, at least every week or every day, then you'll be fine. But if you're just kind of just lazy and doing it because you're athletic, then you're going to be average.
Mm-hmm. You can't get your mind stuck on the previous play. You need to be able to compartmentalize your brain and learn from that and then move on. Because if you don't, then that can cause mistakes to happen in the rest of the game.
Yeah, and that's all of football. Like any position, you got to have short-term memory loss. Just because, I mean, football is a team sport. You can't play just with one person. So if one person's thinking about the last play and giving half effort, then the whole team will end up giving half effort. So
I would probably be awful, because I don't know how I could do that. Just forget about the mistake that happened earlier in the game.
Yeah, it could be hard sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong. I've had my moments where I've been like, dang, like, but then I've had teammates tell me like, all right, next play. So, or coaches tell me like, next play. So you got to get support like that. So, so that's good too.
So I've been watching Last Chance U. The coaches are so tough. Is that like an accurate representation of all coaches, or is that kind of exaggerated?
No, not at all. Like I've had some coaches that are tough coaches, and then I've had some coaches that are chill coaches and really want to help you succeed. I mean, both want to help you succeed, but it's either going to get a chill coach or you're going to get a hard coach. But for me, I think the coaches that are hard on you are the best coaches just because they get the best out of you. And then Last Chance U, for example, I mean, they're playing junior college football. So the coaches are trying to get them back on track or to get them to see the reality of life. So I think those coaches, I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think that's real life just because – and then the people on that show, they're like they used to be high-risk kids or they didn't come from the best backgrounds. So they have to kind of be hard on them or else they'll get complacent. So I'd rather have a tough coach than a chill coach, though, in my opinion.
Definitely watching the show, it's like, how can these coaches be so, I would say, mean to the team?
Yeah, and then when you get to the college level, especially the Division I level or the NFL level, coaches aren't going to be – it becomes a business. So coaches aren't going to be all nice to you all the time. Like, they're going to have to be tough on you just because that's how they feed their family. So it's like a job. Like, your boss isn't going to be nice to you all the time just because, I mean, they have to feed their family too. So it's tough love. So there's times where you get a chill coach and then the chill side of a coach, and then you'll get the tough side. People just have to manage both or be able to manage both.
And let's be honest, when a team is losing, the first thing is something's wrong with the coach, Yeah. Fire the coach.
Yeah. What I think about that is, honestly, there is some coaching problems and then there's some player problems. So it kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, coaches and players work together. So I can't say you have to blame the coach for 100% of the things going on, especially if you're losing. Some of it goes on the players too, because they're the ones playing and making the plays. So that's how I think about it.
Yeah, it's a team sport.
Yeah.
So congrats on committing to Eastern Washington University.
Thank you.
For the listeners who are not familiar with the recruitment process, could you just explain a little bit about it?
Okay, so my recruiting process didn't go as planned, especially since COVID happened. But usually the recruiting process is fun for some people and frustrating for some people. So for me, for instance, before COVID, I was talking with a lot of Pac-12 schools and Mountain West schools, and then Big Sky schools, which is the conference that Eastern Washington's in. And, when COVID hit, it kind of took a toll on my recruiting just because when COVID hit, a lot of coaches were focusing on the main people on their recruiting board. So I kind of stopped talking to a lot of coaches at those Pac-12 and Mountain West schools, and then it just became the Big Sky. And then Eastern Washington has always been talking to me and was always talking to me. So it was kind of like a matter of time with them. And then I got some other offers, but they were like smaller school offers. So it was kind of a matter of time with Eastern, and then I finally got it and committed on the spot. So, yeah, that's how it went.
When did this process start for you?
It honestly started freshman year. I took my first ever recruiting visit to Eastern Washington. So it's kind of funny how it came full.
Yeah. And then when choosing a school, what did you look for? I interviewed a lineman a couple months ago, and he was talking about the culture of the school. But for you, what were you looking for?
The culture of the school was the main, and the team was one of the main things as well. And then academics, of course, you got to think about, like, will the degree mean something, and the academic side mean something when you're done at the school. And then I looked at the alumni connection. The alumni connection is real big at Eastern. So especially in Washington, like if you're looking for a job and you say you went to Eastern Washington, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to get hired because it's a good school and it's a good school to get a degree from. So I looked at those things. And then football wise, they win a lot and it's a winning culture. So I didn't want to be on a team where like they're rebuilding or they're kind of mediocre. I wanted to be on a team where they push you and win right away. So, and then I know a lot of people on the team, so I have a lot of older guys that I can look up to and learn from and pay attention to. So that's kind of why I chose Eastern Washington.
What do you think about playing on the red field?
It's good. It's good. So, like I've always wanted to play. Like, I took a visit there and I was like, man, this is cool. And I've always heard about it as a kid. And I was like, how did they get the field red? But, you know, it's cool. So I can't wait, really. I just can't wait to get there, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
School-wise and football-wise. It's
like the red field doesn't even matter because you are going to a D1 school.
Yeah. And then, of course, that is an attraction to recruits. It's definitely an attraction to recruits because it's a different type of field. You're not playing on a regular green turf field. So it's something different, most definitely.
When I first saw it, I'm like, man, I feel like I would hate playing on a red field. But again, I feel like that's just something you'll get used to, and it's kind of cool because it's very unique.
Yeah, it's definitely unique.
And didn't Cooper Kupp come out of Eastern?
Yeah, Cooper Kupp came out of Eastern. Kendrick Bourne, he plays on the 49ers. He came out of Eastern. There's actually a lot of NFL guys that came out of Eastern. So Simba Webster plays on the Rams. And it's not like they're just in the NFL, just on practice squads or anything. Yeah. They're actually making impacts and doing their job. So it's a good thing to be at a school and be committed to a school where big time players came from.
Well, congrats again and good luck.
Thank you.
Do you have any tips for those going through the recruitment process?
Yeah, I would say stay patient. I mean, your timing is your timing. You can't really base your timing off other people around you. I got this told to me too because I kind of wanted it in a rush and was like how, like, I would see players getting offers before me that I thought I was better than or stuff like that. So you kind of just got to stay patient with it. What's for you is going to be for you. And then I would say don't be in the D1 or bust mentality just because that can hurt you. And then, coaches all talk. They're all connected. Coaching is a small world, especially on the college level. So get out the D1 or bust mentality because that can definitely hurt you. And then especially like you could be talking to a small school and then he leaves the small school to go to a bigger school. And it's like you don't want to burn any bridges with that coach. And that can hopefully get you to where you want to be, which is the Division I level. So, and then all college football is all good. So if you can get in somewhere and play at the next level, that's good. So not everybody gets a chance to play at the college level. So I would say stay patient is the main thing. And then talk to all coaches, expand your horizons. Don't just talk to Division I coaches because the level really doesn't matter.
So what was the best piece of advice that you have ever been given?
What's for you is going to be for you. My mom says it all the time. Like she's probably like she's my best friend most definitely, but my mom told it to me all the time ever since I was a kid. What's for me is going to be for me. So I kind of just always took that and ran with it and lived in the moment and just appreciated the things that have been given to me and the opportunities that have came.
Well, that's great advice. Let's close it off with one last question, and that is, what advice would you give to a young football player?
A young football player, I would say have fun with it at first. Definitely have fun with it. And then as you get older, keep working. And then what else? Keep working, stay consistent with it, have fun with it always. You don't want to be stressed out with a sport that you love. And then, just be a great teammate, build chemistry with your guys, be a great friend. Enjoy the time that you have. So that's what I have.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking football with me, and good luck.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone who is listening. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of On the Line. I upload new episodes every Sunday at 12. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment on Apple Podcasts, and follow On the Line on Instagram, and all those links will be in the show notes. Thank you.